I will never forgive you, John Lennon. Never. Oh, hey! Sorry, I didn't notice you there. Well, as promised, I'm now going to talk about my top 6 favorite Christmas songs. The 6 songs that have managed to pull through the overplay, and even get better over time. And hopefully this helps you forgive some of the choices from my last list.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, jingle bell, simply having. So this is Christmas.
Ugh. Anyway, I'll be following the same rules as in my last review. It's all based on personal opinion, and I won't be limiting myself to rock or metal Christmas songs, though again, we'll be seeing a lot of those. So, with all that in mind, let's get down to it.
Oh, my love, we've had our share of tears.
Now this first one receives heavy overplay, at least where I live. And while it can get a bit grating, I can totally see why it's played as much as it is. If you haven't figured out yet, it's because this song is friggin' amazing! Christmas Eve Sarajevo 1224 by Trans-Siberian Orchestra is a strange mashup of Carol of the Bells, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, and symphonic metal that shouldn't work, but totally does. I mean, just listen to it. If this hadn't been done just right, it could have flopped hard. But the way the instrumentals are done makes it sound so epic that I swear it could be used in a movie trailer or something. It totally works, doesn't it? Actually, this song has quite the interesting background, and reading up on it has given it an extra layer of enjoyment for me. This song was originally recorded by the progressive metal group Savatage. Wait, how do you pronounce that name? Is it like Savage, but with a vat in the middle? Savatage? Savatage? Or maybe it's like Sabotage, but with a V? Savatage? I'm getting off topic, aren't I? Anyway, this song was recorded in 1995 for their concept album Dead Winter Dead, before being re-released in 1996 by their side project Trans-Siberian Orchestra on their album Christmas Eve and Other Stories. Dead Winter Dead tells the story of a Serbian boy and a Muslim girl who fall in love at the height of the Bosnian War, which was ongoing at the time. However, Christmas Eve Sarajevo 1224 takes a departure from the plot to tell the real-life story of a cellist born in Sarajevo in the 50s. He left when he was young and became a respected musician in Europe, playing with a lot of symphony orchestras before returning to his hometown in his mid-30s to find it in ruins and under a siege that lasted for years. Rather than taking shelter, he would go into the town square every night, climb on top of the rubble, and start playing Christmas songs on his cello amidst all the destruction. When he was asked years later why he did this admittedly careless thing, he said that he wanted to prove that, despite all the war that was going on, the spirit of humanity was still alive there. For me, this only adds to my ability to enjoy this song. Trans-Siberian Orchestra has repeatedly attempted to recapture the power of this song, with other songs such as Wizards of Winter and 4 whole Christmas-themed albums, but in my opinion, this is the best. Jingle Bell Rock may have failed at making Christmas cool, but Christmas Eve Sarajevo 1224 definitely succeeds at making Christmas epic. Now who the hell doesn't love the Kinks? They started off in the 60s as one of the big 4 bands of the British invasion, and had big poppy hits like You Really Got Me, a song that is probably the most well-known of their entire catalog. And like many other things, we can probably thank Van Halen for that. But I personally think that they really came into their own in the 70s and 80s, when they reinvented themselves as a band with insightful lyrics that still had a lot of wit. You weren't going to hear many other bands write songs like Celluloid Heroes, which talks about the vapid, quickly changing nature of show business, and how you can be forgotten as soon as you make it big. Similarly, you weren't going to find other bands making quirky, offbeat songs like Lola or Destroyer, which, despite their humorous nature, also talked about serious topics a lot of the time. Many of my transgender friends have said that Lola's message still resonates with them to this day. And then we have Father Christmas. Let's take a listen.
When I was small, I believed in Santa Claus, though I knew it was my dad.
It starts off with the narrator describing how he was raised up with all the traditional Christmas values, namely, the desire for more toys and stuff each year.
Good old consumerism!
But the song takes a dark turn when the narrator, now all grown up, takes a job as a department store Santa.
A gang of kids came over and mugged me and knocked my reindeer to the floor.
Now, ignoring the logistics of how some kids were somehow able to beat him up, and how none of the other department store staff noticed this and tried to stop them,
I think their demands really exemplify what the song is about.
Father Christmas, give us some money. We got no time for your silly toys. We'll beat you up if you don't hand it over. We want your bread, so don't make us annoyed. Give all the toys to the little rich boy.
see, this is something that a lot of people in our culture don't really think about.
Around the Christmas season, we all get so caught up in the whole mess of buying stuff and spending money on gifts for everyone else, and the desire to get more free stuff around Christmas, that we rarely stop to think about those who don't have those problems because they don't have that money to spend in the first place.
We don't want a jigsaw or Monopoly money. We only want the real McCoy.
Though if they were so poor that they had to mug Santa Claus to get money, it does beg the question of how they would know about games like Monopoly and have played them before.
But give my daddy a job cause he needs one. He's got lots of mouths to feed.
And I know people who have been in this exact situation.
Single mothers or fathers who are unemployed or barely make any money, trying to keep their children fed, clothed, and in school while their sanity slowly slips away.
But if you've got what I have, a machine gun, so I can scare all the kids on the street.
And speaking of which, kids like that are probably the reason for their parents' sanity slipping.
Now, if you want to get technical with it, yes, there are other songs that talk about what poor people do on Christmas, but many of them screw it up in a way that's hard to ignore. The Christmas Shoes by New Song tell the story of a poor boy who just wants to buy his dying mother a pair of shoes so she can look good when she enters heaven. But if the concept alone isn't contrived and cheesy enough that it could be a Hallmark special, the song falls apart beyond redemption with these lines.
I knew that God had sent that little boy to remind me what Christmas is all about.
I don't think I need to explain what everyone else has pointed out. The idea of God killing some poor kid's mom just to make sure everyone is cheerful on Christmas is extremely messed up. And I do mean that everybody has talked about this. From Lindsay Ellis,
God killed that woman, so you'd get your shit together. Don't fuck with God.
to Patton Oswalt.
Somebody in a bad mood on my son's birthday? Bullshit! Give that kid's mom cancer. Make him 7 cents short for the shoes. This guy will buy them, and then he'll be in a good mood.
For the record, I've only ever heard of this song because everyone's criticized it. That's why I didn't put it in my worst list. Criticizing this song has become cliché by this point.
Even Insane Clown Posse tried writing a Christmas song from the perspective of poor kids with Santa Claus as a fat bitch. And yes, that is the actual song title.
Don't go that way, Rudolph. That's the ghetto. Those boys and girls, they don't deserve anything.
But even then, it fails because...
Santa Claus, suck my balls. Drunk gas out, ringing bells at the malls. I sat around all night under the chimney, holding my sack like gimme, gimme.
Oh yeah, because Insane Clown Posse are idiots. What? What? Come on! They are! They are!
Water, fire, air, and dirt. Fucking magnets, how do they work?
How do magnets work? Seriously? Dude, you have the internet. Go Google it and piss off with this pseudo-deep BS.
Meanwhile, with this song, it has just the right amounts of wit and seriousness to make it work.
Have yourself a merry, merry Christmas. Have yourself a good time. But remember the kids who got nothing while you're drinking down your wine.
A great song by a great band. What else is there to say but...
Give all the toys to the little rich boy.
Now for this next one, is it cheating to put 2 songs with the same artist on this list? If so, I don't care.
go figure, the most well-known comedy musician of all time makes two of the best comedy Christmas songs of all time.
To absolutely no one's surprise.
Now I know that I may have spoken badly about the Weird Al show, but that was mostly because of CBS screwing things up. None of that was Al's fault. Here we get to see Al, unrestricted by any network, doing what he does best.
I mean, if you want to get technical with it, he's best known for making parodies of popular songs, and both of these songs are original, though just barely. Huh. I wonder why Ozzy Osbourne has never made any Christmas songs. Unless you count I Am Santa Claus.
Red suit, boots are black, big set of toys hanging off his back.
I already mentioned both of these songs in my last review when I was talking about Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I talked about how both of these songs were good examples of dark comedy Christmas songs that didn't come off as horrible, but I feel like I should explain why these songs are so good. So let's start off with Christmas at Ground Zero, from the album Polka Party.
It's Christmas at Ground Zero, there's music in the air. The sleigh bells are ringing and the carolers are singing while the air raid sirens flare.
First of all, let's talk about the song's subject matter. Christmas at Ground Zero was released in 1986 at the height of the Cold War. The United States and the Soviet Union had been in an on-again, off-again war since roughly 1947 and engaged in a nuclear arm race in the 50s and early 60s, where each side would make bigger and bigger nuclear bombs. There was a very real and growing fear in the US that nuclear war could start at any time. From the 60s to 70s, though, the arms race de-escalated, and while both superpowers did still despise each other, their focus turned more to the space race and advances in science and technology. But in the 1980s, with the election of President Ronald Reagan, tensions between the US and the Russians grew. Needless to say, from those I've talked to about living in the 80s, it was a scary time. It seemed as though both sides had their fingers hovering over the button and could press it at any second.
Not that that's relevant to today's world or anything. Ha 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 ha.
This was the same era where we got other songs talking about people's fears of nuclear war, like Sign of the Times, Hammer to Fall, and even Land of Confusion.
I could use another one of those. That's one heck of a nurse.
And this song takes that fear and has fun with it, with each verse making very clever wordplay that, in my opinion, exemplifies just what makes Weird Al such a comedy genius.
Everywhere the atom bombs are dropping, it's the end of all humanity. No more time for last minute shopping, it's time to face your final destiny.
And he sounds so cheerful when singing about all these horrible things.
It's Christmas at Ground Zero, just seconds left to go. I'll duck and cover with my Yuletide lover underneath the mistletoe.
Get it? Because it's mistletoe, like the thing people kiss under, but it's also a pun about, nuclear missiles. I don't know, I thought it was funny.
See, the difference between this song and Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer is that the latter song is just a funny title and nothing more. It doesn't really do much with its concept, and what it does just comes off as disturbing, showing that the family doesn't care about the grandma after Santa's vehicular homicide. Meanwhile, listen to Christmas at Ground Zero.
We can dodge debris while we trim the tree underneath the mushroom cloud.
Nearly every lyric skillfully mixes Christmas and winter traditions with cryptic imagery of the impending mutual annihilation in a way that goes from being funny to being dark and then back to being funny again. It also makes for a nice political song. Al's basically singing about the stupidity of the Cold War and how nuclear weapons will bring about the end of humanity.
And if you think I'm overanalyzing it...
Well, big day's only a few hours away now. I'm sure you're all looking forward to it as much as we are.
I didn't edit that in. Al actually used a clip of Ronald Reagan in his song about the nuclear apocalypse. His intentions were clear.
Sadly, after 9/11, the mainstream media started using Ground Zero to refer to the site that formerly held the World Trade Center, and Al had to stop performing the song for fear of coming off as insensitive.
Thankfully, he had another Christmas song up his sleeve.
Down in the workshop, all the elves were making toys for the good Gentile girls and the good Gentile boys.
The Night Santa Went Crazy was released on the album Bad Hair Day in 1996.
Wow, this song is almost as old as I am.
Anyway, the song starts off with a pretty standard opening for a Christmas song. It's Christmas Eve, and the elves are making toys, until Santa busts in with a rifle.
And he smiled as he said, with a twinkle in his eye, Merry Christmas to all, now you're all gonna die!
Now, imagine this from my perspective.
I first heard this song when I was going through my Weird Al phase, which was simultaneously when I first started to discover how overrated Christmas was, so most Christmas songs had lost their charm to me by that point.
But a song about Santa himself killing Christmas? Now that's what I call getting into the holiday spirit.
And I do mean it when I say that he kills Christmas in this song. It's not like in The Grinch, where he just steals a tree and the toys, but Christmas goes on anyway. No, Santa goes hardcore in this song.
Well, the workshop is gone now, he decided to bomb it. Everywhere you'll find pieces of Cupid and Comet.
The song goes into detail when describing the increasingly gruesome and hilarious ways in which Santa axes off his reindeer.
He got Dancer and Prancer with an old German Luger, and his slashed-up Dasher just like Freddy Krueger.
In fact, is it wrong that I sometimes find myself cheering for Santa in this thing?
With the creative ways in which he murders all his reindeer, I can't imagine that he's not having some kind of fun with this. I'm more just surprised that he didn't keep some of his reindeer alive so we could, I don't know, drop bombs down greedy kids' chimneys or something.
And they barbecue Blitzen, and he took a big bite and said it tastes just like chicken.
Though minor nitpick, Blitzen in no way, shape, or form rhymes with chicken, and from what I understand, deer meat actually tastes more like beef.
And don't forget to throw in a catchy chorus.
The night Santa went crazy, the night St. Nicholas flipped, broken back for some melted cookies. Sounds to me like he was tired of getting chipped.
Actually, I never thought about it before, but this song has another layer to it.
In a way, The Night Santa Went Crazy is also playing to people's fears, much like Christmas at Ground Zero. In the 90s, workplace shootings started becoming increasingly common, and this song juxtaposes Christmas imagery with descriptions of the grim but contemporary phenomenon in the same way that Christmas at Ground Zero does. This is even played with in this line.
And the elves all got jobs working for the postal service.
Now, guess where a lot of workplace shootings took place during the late 80s and early 90s? That's right, post offices! It's very dark humor, yes, but honestly, I like it a lot. Again, take this as a lesson, Elmo and Patsy. This is how you do a black comedy Christmas song right.
Sadly, the ending of this song is kinda weak.
Not the ending in general, mind you. It actually gets pretty exciting. The National Guard and the FBI show up.
Though I honestly don't know if this is in their jurisdiction. I mean, is the North Pole even owned by the US?
And things slowly go back to normal. Vixen and Donna are still alive, though traumatized. As previously stated, the elves are working for the Postal Service, and Mrs. Claus is now negotiating for the movie rights. Really, here's the strange part.
Yes, Virginia, now Santa's doing time in a federal prison for his infamous crime. Hey, little friend, now, don't you cry no more tears. He'll be out with good behavior in 700 more years.
Maybe it's just me and my strange desire to see Christmas be killed for good, but leaving Santa alive at the end seems like a bit of a letdown for an ending of a song like this. At least in Silent Night, Deadly Night, Santa actually died at the end.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with this ending, but I just kind of think that it needs something. Something gorier.
Yes, Virginia, now Santa Claus is dead. Some guy from the SWAT team blew a hole through his head. Yes, little friend, now that's his brains on the floor. I guess they won't have the fat guy to kick around anymore.
Oh, yes. Did I mention that there are two versions of this song?
There's the original version of this song, and then there's this alternate version that they perform live called the Extra Gory version, and its ending is so much more violent than the original, and thus much more hilarious. Yeah, so while the original is great, if you want unbridled violence, check out the Extra Gory version.
Now that's the kind of ending that I like. Good God, I may be messed up.
But yeah, these two songs are both hilarious, instrumentally well written, and provide surprisingly good commentary.
What a crazy fluke, we're gonna get nuked on this jolly holiday.
If you haven't listened to them, I highly suggest checking them out, though listener discretion is highly advised.
Something finally must have snapped in his brain.
Now, as a lot of people have already talked about, including myself, in 2016 we lost a lot of great voices in music.
David Bowie, Prince, Glenn Frey, Otis Clay, Maurice White, Phife Dawg, George Michael. 2016 was not a good year for music. However, two of the deaths that hit me the hardest were of keyboardist Keith Emerson and bassist singer Greg Lake, both from the progressive rock band Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Now, this band had a lot of great songs, and the next song I'll be talking about isn't even in my top 10 best ELP songs.
But it's their only Christmas song, so I'll take what I can get.
Actually, I don't know if it's really fair to call it an ELP song. Keith Emerson and Carl Palmer barely play on this song. This is pretty much all Greg Lake. I'd call it his own solo song in the same way that Good Riddance Time of Your Life is more of a Billy Joe Armstrong solo song than a proper Green Day song. Either way, this song was very popular. It made it to number 2 on the single charts in 1976, only kept off the number 1 spot by a little song called Bohemian Rhapsody.
Look up to the skies and see.
That's right, it was only stopped from becoming a number 1 hit by one of the greatest songs of all time. And ever since then, I Believe in Father Christmas has been covered by many artists and has become a Christmas staple on many radio stations. That said, though...
It's written by the lead singer of King Crimson, so it's not going to be a straightforward Christmas song.
First of all, the instrumentation in this song is incredible. It starts off with simple acoustic guitar and vocals before, one by one, adding synths, percussion, brass, timpani, and a friggin' choir and orchestra. The way this song just increases in volume and intensity makes it sound very important. I don't even think Greg is still playing by the end, he's just let the orchestra take over.
And we haven't even gotten to the lyrics yet. The lyrics don't just sound important, they are important.
They said there'll be snow at Christmas. They said there'll be peace on earth.
I Believe in Father Christmas tackles many themes in its lyrics. The first is the loss of innocence. Lake first describes an idealistic vision of Christmas in the winter season in general.
A winter's light and a distant choir, and the peal of a bell and that Christmas tree smell, and eyes full of tinsel and fire.
The typical version of Christmas that everyone claims they believe in during the holiday season, the one sold on Hallmark cards and stuff. Hell, he even uses the word sold in the lyrics.
They sold me a dream of Christmas. They sold me a silent night. They told me a fairy story till I believed in the Israelite.
But the tone of this song takes a big change halfway through the second verse.
Then I woke with a yawn in the first light of dawn, and I saw him and through his disguise.
Now, there are two ways of interpreting this.
There's the literal interpretation of him as a boy first discovering that Santa, or Father Christmas as they call him in the UK, was a myth and is just used by parents to encourage good behavior. But one can also see it as Greg seeing through Christmas in general. When you're a kid and you first grow out of thinking that Christmas is a super magical time of the year where everyone is happy and see it for what it's become, it can be disheartening.
See, believe it or not, I actually used to like Christmas. Quite a lot, in fact.
But then I saw how it had become so overhyped and overmarketed to the point where I was already hearing Christmas music on Halloween night, and I kinda saw through its disguise myself. In a way, the old idyllic Christmas is dead. It's no longer all about peace and loving one another, it's now only about making as much money as possible by selling people stuff on big holiday deals, about being brainwashed year after year to spend money on gifts for your family members, and being convinced to hate anyone who doesn't get you something on this holiday. This is why you have people camping out overnight, freezing cold in Walmart parking lots, just so they can be in the store early enough to get that one thing that their cousin really wants, even if it means violently shoving and trampling over anyone who gets in your way. And even at the risk of the sanity of the already barely paid workers there who, because of this, often don't get to spend time with their families.
It's become a toxic environment, and I believe Greg recognizes this.
They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. Hallelujah, Noel, be heaven on hell. The Christmas we get we deserve.
And I love these ending lines.
Despite accusations of the song being anti-Christianity, Greg actually stated that he likes Christmas. But you have to remember, Christmas was originally intended to celebrate the birth of Jesus, who was noted for speaking many times about the evils of consumerism, about the buy, 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 and sell, sell, sell mentalities. So it makes me wonder what he would think seeing this day named in his honor turned into this capitalist crap. The video also shows footage of the Vietnam War over the final instrumental segment, and the contrast shows that even in a day explicitly about peace and love, acts of pure hatred like these can still happen. In addition to being a great Christmas song, I believe in Father Christmas also makes for a great protest song. See, this is why I don't give a free pass to Happy Xmas War is Over for being a protest song. Greg Lake did it better. Now, some of you are probably wondering, with how much I've praised this song, why is it only number 2 on my list? What can my number 1 choice possibly be?
Well, those of you who know me well probably already have some idea about my number 1 pick, but before we get to that, here are some honorable mentions.
All there's left to show is to share your joy at Christmas time with Jack Frost and the Hooded Crow.
Okay, I mostly just like this because it's Jethro Tull doing a Christmas song, though I will say that I do like how this is another song about asking to spare a thought for those who are poor at Christmas.
And I know one thing, y'all better get off my neck and wait till you get your welfare check.
I recently rewatched the movie Beat Street, and I remembered how awesome this song was.
So all I did was just put them away, cause my G.I. Joe looked G.I. gay.
It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens.
I have to admit that I'm not the biggest fan of rap, but come on, you can't help but love this, especially since it's the first Christmas rap song most of us ever heard, incidentally used in everyone's favorite Christmas movie. I know this is technically a New Year's Day song, but damn it, I really wanted to make up for putting 2 other Beatles Christmas songs on my worst list.
Yesterday, today was tomorrow, and tomorrow, today will be yesterday.
Yeah, don't think too hard about that, guys.
Okay, I didn't include this on the list because it's a cover and I'm only including original songs, but as far as covers of Christmas songs go, this is pretty good.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you.
Unpopular opinion, I actually prefer the later Elvis where he's a baritone crooner rather than trying to be the king of rock. And this song accurately captures the crappy feeling of being alone during the holidays. Also, if you like Blue Christmas but aren't particularly fond of Elvis, Collective Soul did a really nice reworking of it. So, fun fact, Twisted Sister made a Christmas album. Okay, I know that a lot of fans hated this album, but honestly, I didn't mind it. I mean, I've never really thought of Twisted Sister as making super serious music in the first place or anything, so this didn't seem like too much of a stretch. Besides, Dee Snider went to Congress to defend freedom of expression. I think he's earned the right to make a Christmas album without losing any badassery.
Put on your yarmulke, it's time for Hanukkah.
Behold, the only Hanukkah song that anyone actually knows! For the record, I would have put this on the list proper if it hadn't been for that terribly unfunny Adam Sandler Hanukkah movie that took its name from one of the lines in this song.
Wow, I actually had a lot more honorable mentions in this list than dishonorable mentions in the last one. Okay, on to number 1. Now, from these other choices in this list, I might have come off like a bit of a music snob.
And I fear that some of you may be assuming that I only like Christmas songs that are darkly humorous, or feature epic instrumentation, or have a major slam against capitalism.
But no. Alright? Doesn't have to be all that. Just like any other song, a Christmas song just has to be well composed, have a sense of sincerity, not have any whack lyrics, and be delivered by someone with a good singing voice and a great personality.
Hi, I'm Billy Squire.
Hi, Billy.
On behalf of myself and everyone here at MTV, I'd like to wish you all a happy holiday season and a terrific New Year.
Aw, thanks, Billy. You seem nice. I hope your career is long and plentiful.
Christmas is a time to say I love you. Share the joys and laughter and the cheer. Christmas is a time to say I love you.
else remember this song? This was made when Billy Squier ruled the world. He started off as a frontman for the rock band Piper before moving on to a highly successful solo career that scored him several Billboard hits, most notably The Stroke in 1981. Sadly, he wasn't always popular for good reasons. Yeah, the Rock Me Tonight video basically killed his career in the 80s, which is a shame because he legit had a lot of talent and potential. Thankfully, he has had sort of a career resurrection in recent years, as he's become one of the most highly sampled artists in music history, and even joined as a member of, wait for it, Ringo Starr and his All-Star Band.
Man, why do the Beatles keep popping up in these videos? That's gotta be weird, right?
However, of all of Squier's songs, my absolute favorite has to be Christmas is the Time to Say I Love You. Its instrumentation is simple, its lyrics are straightforward, and it clocks in at just over 2 minutes, yet there's a strange charm to it that few other songs are able to capture around the holiday season.
Let's start by looking at that title. Christmas is the time to say I love you. Now, who can't get behind a sentiment like that?
Nothing about religion, or rampant commercialism, or anything like that. Just spreading the love. One of the more annoying aspects of Christmas.
Okay, so it does mention carolers, but I'm gonna be optimistic and assume that they're only singing the songs on this list.
Christmas Eve and all the world is watching. Santa guides his reindeer through the dark.
And okay, you could see this as a reference to the more commercial aspects of Christmas, but I prefer to see it as a reference to the sweet, if not naive, sense of innocence that many children have in this holiday, and how for one day, many people feel the same way. Now, this is an interesting line right there.
Our lives can get really stressful. Whether our problems are based on relationship drama, financial struggles, or whatever else, it can sometimes be really easy to think that life is nothing but the bad things, and really easy to forget about all the good parts of it. And that's what Christmas is for a lot of people. They when we can put aside all that and focus on the good things. This feeling is why so many people who aren't necessarily religious like Christmas to begin with. A feeling that literally caused war to end for one day. That really happened, by the way. Look it up.
Memories in the year that lays behind us. Wishes for the year that's yet to come.
Well, at least he knows the difference between Christmas and New Year's. Looking at you, John Lennon.
Okay, in all seriousness, I do really love this song. It basically represents the nice, peaceful feeling that we all should feel in the holiday season. In a way, it's almost kind of the antithesis to I Believe in Father Christmas. That song is basically a eulogy to the peaceful archetype of Christmas, where it's all about spreading love, being kind, sitting by the fire, and enjoying life. Meanwhile, Christmas is the Time to Say I Love You is the anthem to that type of Christmas. It's a song that shouts, no, the true spirit of Christmas is not dead. It's still alive, and you just have to believe in it.
Now, some of you may think I'm reading too closely into this.
That is just a Christmas song that the record company probably required him to sing to make money for the holiday season.
But, well, think about it this way.
Squier himself holds a sole writing credit on this song. It wasn't just fed for him to sing from a record executive. And this song wasn't some last-ditch effort to make Billy Squier relevant again after the Rock Me Tonight video bombed so hard. No, this was released in 1981, the same year as Squier's big hit album Don't Say No. If the record company really wanted him to make this, they would promote it as much as possible. But you want to know how Squier released this? As a B-side. Seriously, this song wasn't on the album itself, it was just a B-side to My Kinda Lover.
It gives me the sense that Squier actually believes what he's singing here.
I mean, it's so happy, and he sings with such a passion, that I can't really believe anything else. And some of the VJs and MTV staff at this video shoot have also said that him performing the song with them was among their favorite moments on the channel.
And, you know, it only makes sense that this song will make people feel so happy. As I said before, I'm not religious, and I'm usually not a fan of the holiday season, but every time I hear this song, I can't help but feel happy. It just makes me smile. Hell, there was one time when I called this in as a request to a radio station. It was a local classic rock station, in fact, and I called it in as a request and dedicated it to my girlfriend at the time. She's broken up with me since then, and, you know, when you lose someone, oftentimes it makes songs that are associated with them harder to listen to. But not with this song, man. It just makes me happy. That's the power of this song. In fact, it almost makes me want to spread the cheer to certain people I love in my life. Hold on one sec. Mom? Dad? I love you.
I love you.
I love you too.
Who was that?
I don't know. I thought you knew.
I dedicate this video to all the people I love in my life. That includes you. You, person out there watching this right now. If you like this video, good for you. I love you. If you hate this video, good for you. I still love you. Go ahead, type your mean comments in the comments. I don't care. I love you. To all my subscribers, I love you. I love you. I love all of you. It's almost been 10 years since I joined YouTube, and you have no idea how much you've gotten me through all these years. Hey, cartoon physicist, I love you! Magnetrex, I love you too!
Whoa, hey man, I'm flattered and all, but to be honest with you, I don't really swing like that.
Kitty, I love you. No, seriously, you're so cute. What more needs to be said? It's a great, cheerful song that easily tops my list.
Hanging over Christmas.